Oh my God, Kiva, thank you so much for being a member for 9 months. I see it on my device. Shout out to Kiva and Jenny, who just not Jenny, I'm sorry. Jen, who just upgraded her membership. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Let me see all these beautiful, wonderful members in the chat. We have Peekaboo, I've Got Words, SW, Emily Biz, Lost in Space. Who else? Rico, shout out to Rico. My cat ran outside into the bushes today and I thought about you. Oh, Rico, hope you found your cat. I'm so sorry that happened. Hopefully everything's okay. Who else? Who else? Ben Dreaming might go to bed early. Shout out to Ben Dreaming. Who else? Who else did I see here? Clover, Nat Flo, welcome. Oh my gosh, everybody. Sarah, I see you. Who else? Blonde Bomb, welcome. Generally, Jenny, welcome. Oh my gosh, Tasha, welcome. Liz, welcome. Sinner, Connie. Who else? Granny B. Oh my gosh, the good Nanya, my mod. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hit that like button, guys. Jackie, generally, Jenny, I already said hello. Evil, welcome. Oh my gosh, everybody, Cash, welcome. Purdy, Sweet Pea. Oh, wow. Pigeon Mac, the one and only Pigeon Mac. Shout out to Pigeon Mac. Yes, I thought I wasn't going to either, and then I was like, I gotta come live. I gotta come live. Dee Dee, Bright Art, Dukes. Okay, who else did I see in here? Blank Scream. Oh my gosh, shout out to Blank Scream. Sakina, welcome. The Bunny Gang. Look at, like, everybody is. I see all green now, so I know I have a lot of members. Hey, Diamond Cutter, how are you, my love? Hope you guys are doing good. Everybody, come on in. And Mystery Chrissy. Okay, you guys. So for the members, we started a Discord, and I'm gonna need some holy water in that Discord because you guys are already cutting up. Like, it needs to be sanitized already, which is great. Which is great. Love it. 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 I love it. Love it. Love it. The Fluffle's in the building. The Fluffle is in the building. I don't know. Okay, I got you. All right. All right. All right, so let's get it together. I kind of wanted to start because I want to, first of all, let me shout out Lawyer Mystery Maven. I don't know if she's in the building. Shout out to her, but I saw her community post and I wanted to look into this situation a little bit more. Hey, Grandma, welcome, welcome. And everybody, look, I wanted to look into this situation a little bit more. And I did, about the Shannan Watts situation here, okay, with her brother, and I think his name is Frankie, is it Rzucek? I think that's how you say his name. But he recently shared, and we're gonna get right going into this, that progress in terms of his case right now, right? So he is going after these internet trolls. And let me tell you something. I was reading into this a little bit more, and I couldn't help myself and think about just some of the shenanigans that have been going on the streets here in YouTube. And honestly, I'm very excited too. Definitely. I'm very excited. You were gonna, well, you should have generally, Jenny. Thank you. Thank you. We love Maven over here. Shout out to Maven. Um, I think that, hey Heels, how are you, my love? I hope you're doing well. Shout out to Heels in the Air and Chronicles of a Shady and Deets on the Street. We're gonna talk about Deets here in a minute. Um, I was thinking about this and I said some of this kind of goes hand in hand to what's been going on here on YouTube with this whole crama, I guess, true crime and drama mixed into one. And what has kind of happened, right? Um, I am that person that if there's an elephant in the room, not only will I point the elephant, but I'll probably talk to the elephant. You know, just like, hey, what's up, elephant? What's going on? There's an elephant, and I'm going to talk to the elephant in the room. That's just kind of how I am. I don't expect everybody to be that way. But before I even go there, I do want to talk about this situation here because I think that this is awesome. And so then he recently updated, he had a fundraiser for his family, Justice for Suffering Family Members of Murdered Pregnant Mom and Her Children, okay, Shannan Watts and her girls. Since the cruel murder of my beloved sister, Shannan, and her children in 2018, my family and I have been harassed on social media by online trolls who are sending us threatening and abusive messages. So he just did an update today, not today, yesterday. And this is, I found it through Mystery Maven on her community area. So then I said, well, let me look into it. And I did. And this is kind of giving us the heads up. Frankie also has a YouTube channel if you guys want to check it out. I think, you know, when we talk about victims, and a lot of us are very quick because we're human and it's natural for us to be like, we have to do things this way. And I'm guilty of it too, right? We have to do things A and B and C. You cannot support this. You cannot support that, right? When you hear the direct statements from actual victims, right? Frankie, his family, okay? Or, for example, Brandy Neal herself, family, as far as how victims are impacted by some of the online behavior that we do here, that's the voice that matters, in my opinion. Some of us can become victimized, right? Like I can become a victim. I've been doxxed, bullied, harassed, whatever. I've had a bounty put on me by a creator, several. Yes, a lot of us can become victims. But I think the other take to this too is that some of us have chosen also to be in these positions. Not that that means that it's warranted, but we have chosen to a certain degree to become YouTubers, hence public figures for public scrutiny, for publicness, right? So I thought about this. I said, but here, as far as this situation, I would imagine that Mr. Frankie was not a YouTuber when this happened. Neither was Shannan, neither were these people, right? So this is where, in my mind, I think the voices of the victims should be amplified, and they matter, right? So let me go ahead and read a little bit of this. But he gives us an update. He says, hello, everyone. I'm delighted finally to be in a position to provide you all with an update on how this case is going. But first, I want to express how overwhelmed I am with all of your support to date. Without you all, I would never have been able to progress my claim. Filing a claim. I'm overjoyed to update you all that on March 10th of 2023, my claim was served against the man who has been the principal cause of so much distress to me and my family. I think his name is Alan Vinicombe, the so-called armchair detective in the King's Bench Division of the High Court in London. Mr. Vinicombe is based in the UK, and that is why we have decided to bring the proceedings there. Armchair detective is a YouTuber. Okay. Armchair detective is a YouTuber. Just like all of us right here. We can all get sued. We can all be, this is an actual YouTuber with an AdSense account. Just like all of us, right? In the UK. Some of you guys already have your opinions on him. That's right, Jackie. That's why he's doing it in the UK. I remember Shannan did FB Lives for that Thrive Energy stuff, and I think something else. Yes. And welcome. Hey, K-Mash. Thank you. I did see your email, my love. Thank you for your email. Catlin, is it Caitlin or Catlin? It's great he's doing this, but why is he doing it in the UK instead of the US? I think it's because he lives in the UK. The armchair detective guy. But yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Jeff. Shout out to you. Thank you for stopping by, my love. Yeah, yeah. So I think this is great. A great update, I think, for all of us in the true crime community, for us to kind of know what's going on, right? He puts, I know you all have questions why this has taken so long, but the evidence to consider in my case was extraordinary, with hundreds of YouTube videos to consider and hundreds of hours of content to view and preserve. As a result of the constant ongoing postings by Mr. Vinicombe, the scale of the task increased yet further even after I started fundraising. My team even had to respond to a letter of claim I received in relations to the allegations that I was the one who was harassing Mr. Vinicombe. It has taken my legal team an exceptional amount of time to get the case into good shape, but we have finally reached a stage where all pre-court matters have been completed. What this means is that my team served on my harasser a formal letter of claim that we have moved on to official court proceedings by serving a claim form and particulars of the claim, seeking damages and an injunction in a claim by me for defamation and harassment. As a result, Mr. Vinicombe's failure to reply to correspondence or cooperate with my lawyers, we had to incur significant further costs by making an application to the court for permission to serve him by email. Wow. Those that think they can't be served by email, yes, you can be served by email. Okay? I want to thank every single person who has supported me and everyone who has sent messages of kindness, support, solidarity from around the world. After going through the isolating experience of losing some of my close family members, it is reassuring to know that there are individuals out there who will go out of their way to uplift spirits of my family and me. Further attacks from trolls. During the time it's taken my legal team to get my case into the stage, I have been targeted online. I've also been targeted online by a trolls accusing my family and I from stealing money from fundraising process. This false allegation is one which Mr. Vinicombe has also made against me in a number of YouTube videos. I'm very disappointed and saddened to hear that these accusations that I have scammed people for money and have not put up the donations towards the cost described in my fundraising efforts. I can confirm these rumors are not true. At no point do I have any access to the money, and with all the cases funded through the crowd justice, the funds go directly from the website to my legal team. As I have explained, due to the enormous amount of published material to consider, the progress up until this point has been slow. However, my team wanted to ensure that every single threat, accusations, and defamatory story created was assessed as far as possible. Therefore, this was a process which could not be rushed. I wanted to ensure that these rumors are addressed and that the kind hearted people who have donated to my cause receive reassurance that their funds are being used to address the harassment and defamation which has so badly affected me and my family. The case is moving in a positive direction, and my family and I will need all the support we can get to obtain justice. I'm not going to read further, but you guys can read there the next steps. Again, shout out to Mr. Frankie. You guys, let's drop some hearts for Mr. Frankie and his family and everything. Gosh, I mean, all the stuff that they have been through. Thank you. Yes, yes. Guys, show some love for Mr. Frankie, right? Mm-mm. So I'm reading this, right? And I couldn't help but process this a little bit more, right? In terms of YouTube videos. And we're seeing this pattern. And it's not just listen, it's not just true crime creators, there's creators all over the place. You just had Miss Tasha K here lose an appeal and had to apologize to Cardi B or apologize to Cardi B in a tweet, right? She's gonna be owing this woman $4 million. You know, these are YouTubers, okay? Whether it's the celebrity world realm to true crime, this is huge and ongoing, right? Something to keep in mind. We have to keep our words in mind, right? But I couldn't help but wonder and think about the situation with Mallory. And I said, if I can just convey to all my followers, what I have 200 people here, please hit the like button while you're here, okay? If I can just convey and make a connection a little bit, right? Because it does lead itself to online trolling as far as in true crime, these accusations that we sit here and make without necessarily having receipts, and how a salacious rumor and a lie can blow up and no end. Doesn't really matter if you're in for the good guy or in for the bad guy. Some of us have to be careful what we say here on our platforms. Let me give you another example. We had Scotty Morris, right? Missing. We talked about Scotty Morris. What was it, 2 days ago? He was found yesterday. And a lot of you guys in the chat was, and you guys can have your opinions about it. I know we can speculate. It's okay to speculate. It is what happens after the fact and what we do with our speculations, right? You have to kind of keep in mind, what do I do after my speculations? Do I incite? Do I further tell my crowd, hey guys, you must go do this? You must, this is how we have to do things. No. Do I defend? Do we condone behavior? So those are things that we have to kind of keep in mind, right? So Scotty Morris, thank God, was found, right? There's a lot of people out there still saying, well, Scotty Morrison, he was running away from this. I don't know what. But you know what? I'm glad he was found. Thank God he was found. Thank God that he was found. That's what I care about. What happens afterwards? You know what? Get him medically checked, get him his assessments, get him, whatever he needs to do. If the family needs some support, get the family some help and figure that situation out, because the internet's not going to do it for you. Okay? And no, ma'am, it's not. It's not. And I'm not the parent expert of anybody. Trust me. Okay? Neither are the 215 of you guys. None of us are experts. We're just looking into a window. That's how the internet is, right? Yes. So let's just do this. Let's praise the fact that Scotty has been found and he is safe. And shout out to Mr. B Tim in the chat. Much love to Mr. B Tim. Okay. Um, I'm happy that he's been found. That's what I wanted to hear. As far as all this other stuff, that's just noise to me right now. I'm just being honest. So I wanted to bring some light to this panel, and shout out to Dietz, because Dietz did such a phenomenal panel. I believe it was like a day yesterday actually. And I want there was something that was said here that I said I can't say it better, but the Glare could say it better than I can. So I'm going to go ahead and play a little bit of it and give some commentary to it. And this is pertaining to, you have Mallory, who's kind of running around, and um she's given a lot of people things to talk about, right? That's where shout out to Generally Jenny, who says this is the drama part. Yeah, this is kind of the part where the true crime kind of meets the drama part, and then we're like, psh, and we're like, well, what do we do with this, right? Do we excuse the behavior? Is she a victim? Is she not a victim? What do we do? What do we do? Do we have any answers? We don't have any answers. We don't. But I really like people that say, you can't just walk around acting like your shit doesn't stink. There's a level of accountability. And I'm not saying that Mallory is not a victim of anything. But Mallory went through the trans bashing, that they did the dead name on her. Like, it was horrible what happened to Mallory. Completely horrible. Horrible. I felt so passionate about it that I retweeted when Heels on the Air put that clip up there. And if I could have retweeted it a couple times, I probably would have, especially if it would have gone to Team YouTube. I don't like anybody going through things like that, right? But I'm no fool either. And so for me, I like to see behavior change, just like Mr. B. Tim, who said, somebody, I'll give somebody a couple months and I'll be watching you, and then I'll determine and make my thought process from that, right? I don't like to punish anybody for the things that they've done. Matter of fact, I'm nobody to punish anybody, right? But at the same time, I also don't like anybody being looked at as a fool. And I do feel like she's taken a lot of us as fools. And we have to be careful. And there needs to be a level of accountability. I couldn't have said it better. Look.
To see that, and just why do you feel like you need to make a choice here between these two?
I literally felt like I came back to the Twilight Zone. I was like, what is going on here? My very first live that I listened to, I hop into Queen's chat as I always do, and it's Mallory up there on panel. I'm like, what is going on?
Maybe people are picking sides with Mallory because they feel sympathetic for our trans woman being bashed.
Possibly, Mr. B. Tim, and I do agree with that. I'm sympathetic to that, right? However, people can be held accountable, and people can be, like, you should be able to say, well, wait a minute, what role did you play in this, right? It's kind of like give or take in this situation. I feel very bad that this happened to her. I felt so bad. I retweeted. I wanted to make sure that Heels and at Team YouTube was aware of the stuff that Molly Golightly had said about Mal. And like I said, I did it in the intent that I hope her channel gets terminated. And if I could do it again, I would. Because guess what? I do believe that people like that need to be deplatformed. Anybody that takes their platform to victimize or trans bash or drag people down for their ethnicity, their color, their whatever, yeah, they don't need a space here. And that's my thought. People like that do not need to be here. Okay? Because we're still, we share, we're all under the same TOS. If I can get age restricted on showing an awareness video, why is this woman making money on the shit that she does online? It's not okay. Not okay. And I stand 10 toes with my fingers down on that.
Maybe that sympathy is bleeding over.
And they should give her sympathy for that. I agree.
I agree.
Is a victim of that trans bashing. Absolutely.
Right. Or the trans community in general, sure, and express some sort of,
yes.
But the thing is the trans issue is irrelevant to the entire overall situation. And that's why Molly sucks for bringing it up and using it, agreed. But at the same time, it's the focus on that is now being, it seems like it's overflowing over onto and kind of drowning out the real issue here, which is these victims.
Yes.
In these crimes.
They're getting lost, aren't they?
It's not. I agree that Molly, is horrible. She's been like this for years.
I don't think anybody's debating that.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's taken up for Molly Golightly. I think she's a terrible person.
I just don't want to forget the overall issue, because there's and Mallory is not the only other Molly, and trust
That's
me,
right.
she's another Molly, and
Armchair
there's a lot
detective.
of other Mollys out there.
Yes,
You
there
know,
is.
and I just feel like we should hold a higher standard for how we get our information regarding these cases that involve real people who are going through something I hope to God nobody here ever has to go through.
We should hold a higher standard for how we get our information, not only how we get it, but how we deliver it. Let me repeat that again, because that resonated for me. We should hold a higher standard for how we get our information and share it, receive it, but mainly share it. That part. That part. You cannot, if somebody, let me tell you something. And I don't know what Mallory does after this. I do feel like it's shaken everybody in a different direction. Absolutely, right? There needs to be a level, like it, and we're not always going to be on the same page, right? The way in which, maybe because of Glare speaking, I'm going to pick on him. The way in which he delivers might be different than what I deliver, right? Or how I see things. We're never going to be completely, right? We're different creators. Not creators are, we're not all created equally. We all have different perspectives. But one thing that we can get on the same page about is how we get our information, how it's received, and how it's delivered, right? I take it back to this whole little lawsuit here with Shannan, not a lawsuit, not little, big, with Shannan Watts. I wonder and I think about the harassment, the defamation, the bullying, the threatening of that family, to now having to move over to a lawsuit, right? We're walking a fine line here. This situation right here, I think, is bigger than Mallory. It truly is. Mallory and Molly, that's one thing. And definitely, I don't want us to get distracted from the fact that, like, there's bigger fish to fry. Truly. I want to shout out somebody else, because I was listening to her. And I know a lot of you guys, and I'm going to say names, okay? And that is okay, Because at the end of the day, I think it's important. We're all adults here. We're human. I'm going to shout out Nonsense, because Nonsense did something today that I think is, number one, very valuable to do. When the story of Marvon McRae, some of you guys followed me here with that as well. Shout out to you guys, okay? That broke. That was a huge thing, right? When CPS was called on Nonsense, that affected her. I didn't run online to break a story about CPS being called on her. I called Nonsense. And I said, hey, and I hope she's okay that I shared this. I think she'll be fine. Yeah. I said, Nonsense. I heard CPS was being called on you. Like, what's up? What's going on? Somebody from CPS came over. What's the deal? And, I'm a mother, right? I used to work. I know what CPS is like, right? I've shared that with you guys. I know what it's like to work in a hotline. And I was listening to her, and I said, well, that CPS calls they're supposed to be anonymous unless you're a mandated reporter. And the only person that would know, like, that in itself is a different law, and it varies by state, right? You can't truly know who calls CPS on you. At least you can assume that. And I advised her, like, this is what you do, especially if you're getting constant calls. You can get redacted reports from those calls. Anybody who, just to let you guys know, if you have somebody constantly causing CPS on you, you can actually get redacted reports. They will redact the caller's information, and then you could take that to an attorney and start, putting things together as far as who's calling. I know because I know what that looks like. Okay. Nonsense said today, that Unirock, she felt like by this kind of being put out there that, by him in terms of putting evidence as to who called, put a target on her back. And I can understand that. And I think that was feedback that she was trying to deliver, right? And I think that's her part in terms of like the frustration. I think I would be just as frustrated too, right? Because when I heard all of that, I said, we all want to know who wants to call. It's very clickbaitish. We're going over there to find out who is, and truly, you can't really know who is actually placing the call. You can assume, they can tell you online, I'm the one who did it, but you can't truly know. And so as far as why she was feeling frustrated, and I do think that Nonsense has received so much heat because a lot of people have felt like Nonsense and Unirock are working in the same team, one and the same, and that's not at all the case. Thank you, Kitten, for becoming a member. It's a very interesting allegation to put out there. I think it's sad to do that, but it goes along with this whole idea of misinformation, right? That people will just put that out there, and even us as creators, like I said, like the Glare said, you have to be careful what you put out there, because if you're just spewing things out there, it is not okay, right? Whether it's Mallory, myself, the Glare, Unirock, whoever the hell it is, right? You don't get to spew out in misinformation and not show receipts. And then the more salacious the title is, the more people want to click it. And I think that is part of the issue. In addition to that, it's why Mallory has not been very well received. It's not about whether somebody likes Mallory or not, or if Mallory is a victim or not. It's the fact that she sat there with the bullshit. And when you sit there and break bread with somebody like that, and you honestly think that there is something authentic coming from that, I could definitely understand why Nonsense is upset. Definitely. Definitely. Yeah. Absolutely. And everybody's got their favorite, creator. I don't have anything against. I don't I'll say it like this. Shout out to the Unirock people and everything. I have nothing against you guys in that sense or anything like that. But I do get the sense that, and I've given this criticism before to Unirock, is that his content, especially when over the summer it became so salacious that it was more about clickbaiting, like it was just a little too much, that evidently Nonsense became the target, and she has continuously become the target, and it's not okay, right? Because using clips from Nonsense to make the argument that this is what's happening, that's part of the issue. And so if I'm constantly using someone's clip to make an argument, yeah, people are going to assume that there's more to this, right? I personally, thank you. I like I said, I didn't necessarily, I don't have an issue with Unirock. I didn't necessarily like. I gave him some criticism, and then what I did not necessarily care for or respect, and I'm just gonna say it because I can. There was a stream, and half of you guys know, you guys remember when Jessica and Hero came to my channel, right? Y'all remember that? Everybody remembers that, right? I had asked multiple times for Hero to click the link. I wanted to make sure that Hero was aware of, being careful online, making sure that she understood what, some of the things that can happen out here. That was kind of my thought process behind that. Yeah, you guys remember that, right? Everybody remembers that. The misinformation that was given by that creator, and that's the piece that I didn't appreciate, was that myself and Ikamel, we got her, we set this situation up to interview the victim. And that right there was not cool. That was not cool, because you didn't show any receipts for that. So you kind of clickbaited that thing to drive this narrative. And I was pretty upset about that, because I said, well, wait a minute. Yeah, thank you, PG Mac. There was a lot of people who but he was one of them. And I'm saying names. This is what I'm saying, misinformation. So if you're going to fight the good fight, you can't fight the good fight with misinformation. If you're going to say that this happened, you got to show receipts for it. Nothing in that stream indicated that myself and Ikamel set up to interview that victim. It literally just happened. And to me, that not only did that sit totally wrong, but it told me that you handle yourself this way. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just staying away. I have nothing against the Uni Rock people. Hear me. I love Navy. Navy is more than welcome here. He will always be respected. He's been very nice to me, very receiving. But I don't think that you can fight the good fight if you don't show actual receipts. You know, you got to be careful. And then when you put people out there like that, and how are you any different than everyone else? Right? How are you any different than Mallory? How are you any different if you're running around? Okay, and let's be real. Right now, I can run a hate stream on Molly. Okay, I could, and got a lot, get everybody in here. Let's go, right? I don't necessarily want to do that. I rather talk about other things, but that's just how I am. And so for me, yeah, I do feel for nonsense as much. And, some of you guys might be a little bit different. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. B Tim. Some of you guys might not necessarily agree with nonsense. I think because I have a different perspective of nonsense, maybe my view is a little skewed, right? In terms of the work that she does, because she did put in a lot of work and a lot of the things that she put in there, right? But personally, I think that she worked her butt off to provide information out there, right? And what happened with her CPS thing wasn't anything that I felt like, I went live, but I asked her permission. I asked her before I went live to talk about it, and she was okay with it. I don't know if anybody else called her and said, "Hey, are you okay if I go live about your CPS thing?" I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? Friends communicate with each other. That's all. That's how I see it. Yeah. Well, and then Lex, that's the thing. It's like I know, like the Glare is probably going to go live here pretty soon. Shout out to the Glare. But you look at my thumbnails. I don't have a thumbnail now, or my titles. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to talk about. I try to get away from this whole salacious clickbaiting thing, especially when it comes to true crime. If you're going to expose people, you have to be very mindful. Okay, expose them with the facts, with the receipts. You can't just expose people based on your assumptions or your X, Y, because we're all human at the end of the day, right? All of us. There's a much bigger situation. No, I agree. We should all put ourselves in other shoes. Imagine you doing this work to get the truth out as to not hurt a family, and all these crazies come at you, and I feel people putting themselves out there. Yeah, very true. Thank you, Jeff. It says Mallory's gender and her journey is not our business. So when you call her out, that shouldn't be used. Her gender doesn't cause her to do horrible things. It's her behavior. You lose a point within you. That's what I'm saying. But even somebody pointed this out is when people were calling her out on her behavior, she was calling people they're bigots. They're bigots. We're bigoted. Everybody's a bigot. So she couldn't take, like, you can hash it, but you can't take. You can't just be a hasher and not a taker. You got to be able to take it, right? I don't know. I don't like or dislike Unirock. Why? In my opinion, it seems like he uses talking points and he panders a little too much. Not saying he's a bad guy, just my thoughts and disingenuous at times. Um, everybody, listen. Not everybody likes me. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody. I've criticized. I gave him some criticism. I don't think he took it very well. That's just my opinion. On fraud raising, um, I don't think that investigations of fraud raisers needs to be on the internet per se. I mean, there's a place for it, I guess. I don't know, but I am not the investigative authority, and I've said it more than that. I can't call something a scam and have no knowledge of what investigation outside of hearsay. Then I realize, I think that was it. So this is just content. This isn't like a real investigation. Like that there's police, like there was an actual situation where somebody did call the police, but as far as that investigation that he was doing was content. Like that's how I figured it. You know? And that's not to, like I said, I don't have anything against his people. Shout out to his people. Shout out to him. Like I said, I love me some Navy. I have no problem with Navy. But hey, that's just how I see it. And I do think that making content on somebody's CPS stuff is a problem. You know what I'm saying? She was attacked. She was. You can't put it past it. Whether it was true or not, whether Molly did or somebody in Molly's camp called, that's neither here nor there. You can't really find that out. You can't. You know? Mm-hmm. Just saying. Oh my gosh, you guys have a lot to say in here. Look at that. Oh my gosh. But that's my thought. And I will say that nonsense has been hammered in so many ways, not just CPS. Docs defamed or significant others' jobs. So I can understand the frustration. Right, evil. And that's the thing. It's like you don't have to like I would agree with you, right? We're not always going to agree on everything, but that's one thing we can't agree. They went real life on her. That was not cool, right? And I think that the more that she was used as content, the more that they went real life. It's one thing. If I ran a daily stream and it was to go after Molly using nonsense content, who do you think is going to be the target? It could be me, but it's also going to be nonsense. That's the truth. And that's not shade, but I'm just telling you guys, it just seems like that, Hey, Menace says people should learn to keep their private business off the internet so they can go kick down doors without becoming their number one suspect. Just saying. Very true. I agree. I think sometimes though it is so hard to do that. Because you might want to keep it private, but others don't. So, people will look for your shit. That's just how it is. I still remember when when Ikamel went through his thing, he's kept his stuff private, right? But when people want to find stuff, they're going to find stuff on you. I thought Nonsense User was on the same page, both been doxxed and both doing work to expose the fraud raising. I'm not sure what happened here. I'm not really, and I will tell you this. My understanding is and this is why, and I was in her chat, and like I said, I feel like I understand where she's coming from, because I'd seen that side, and I know. I don't think that Nonsense was necessarily running exposing the fraud. That's not the sense that I got. Had she maybe done some content on it? Probably, but I don't think she was the one that was carrying the torch for that. I got the sense that was Unirock and his team that was doing that. I didn't get the sense that nonsense. And somebody can correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. Nonsense fake daughter had trolls in her stream. Lord. Fake daughter. I don't think Nonsense has a fake daughter. I feel that Nonsense has handled herself very well, certainly better than I would have. Right. I wish it would become a non-issue, says Wildflower. And thank you, SW, for gifting memberships. If you guys received a membership from SW, guys, make sure you give her a little heart, a little thank you. It's always nice to get a little membership. Let me see who else is said. I'm late. Very important date. Yes, congratulations to the new member. Lord Jackie, stop. Yo, Jackie. And this is not to bash or anything. Nonsense exposed the Letitia fraud raiser. Nonsense exposed it? I thought it was Unirock because I didn't think that Nonsense took it upon herself to expose it. I didn't see streams of, like, I saw her put in the messages out there, but I never got the sense that Nonsense exposed it. Nonsense focus on way to show the truth and facts of Marvel McCray. Right, Nanya, but I don't think Nonsense exposed the fraud raiser. I thought that was Unirock. I guess we'll agree to disagree on that one. Because I know I gave my criticism in the summer. It wasn't well received, but I gave it, to each his own. Let me see. J-Dub. As part of the LGBTQ plus community, I cannot support Mallory. And it's not a trans issue. It's an issue. It's a behavior issue. And not to mention, she will not take accountability or apologize. Well, J-Dub. Shout out to J-Dub. In your face says she always asks, where's the money? Yeah, but I don't think asking where the money is at is necessarily exposing the fraud raiser. I think a lot of people are asking the same thing. I thought it was Nonsense who came up. Yeah, but I don't think that's where's the money is not necessarily exposing the fraud raiser. Like she did, I don't think she's the one that took it upon herself to investigate. I think a lot of people ask that question though. I'm okay with anyone exposing a fraud raiser. Shout out to D. I'm okay if it's an investigative authority, but that's just me. The levels people are willing to go to demonstrate their craziness. Sometimes Unirock steals others' thunders and stuff. Lord have mercy, y'all. I don't know who gifted memberships, but thank you. Aw, Deborah. Nonsense is about truth. The fraud and the donors not getting their money back was part of that. And I talked about that too, but I didn't expose no fraud raising. I'm just being honest. Yeah, I'm being honest. That wasn't my mission at all, but I didn't expose none of that. Here. I did interview the person that had her money taken, but that's as far as that went. Yeah, she has never done any research on the fraud raiser. She has questions about the lies that have been told, some of which included the money. Thank you, good Nunya. That's what I thought. Everyone needs to work together, less divide. Yeah, but here's the deal in your face. I would agree with you on that. But this is a good example. If I tell you I am not the investigative authority, so I can't tell if something is like that doesn't mean that just because somebody calls something a scam or a fraud, we might not always be on the same page. And to me, it even seems more of a divide because if you're putting out there information that attacks another person that's on the same team, and I say that with air quotes because I don't think we're all very different, right? You're not really looking out for each other. You're looking out for your content. That's what it seems to me. I totally agree with you 100. Just sucks to see it happen, then tries to manipulate such a kind-hearted people in these chats. 2 weeks ago, QB was a roach channel, and now she's good, right, Jeff? We were all roach channels. I mean, I'm sure I'm still a roach. Whatever. is often appearing to be the first to break stories when it actually wasn't him. Where's the money, Molly? Is a question I've heard from Nonsense. This is from Uni. If anything, he came late to that party. Really? I don't know about that. I mean, listen, I don't know who came early or late, but when I did commentary on it, the person that was doing the fraud raising content was not Nonsense. It was Uni. You guys can hate me for saying that, but that's what I remember and how I remember it. Okay? Don't shoot me. Just letting you know. That's how I remember it. She is just a woman and guys are just guys, and the ones or the others shouldn't be weaponizing unless some kinky games are being played in the privacy of one's own. Wildflower, what the heck are you talking about, yo? I don't know what Wildflower was on. You talked about the Letitia thing, but Nonsense really kept up all the details. It was technically Katie Joy who called it out first. I don't know, yo. I don't know. I will say this though, because I said I'm not doing any content on fraud raising, but I did I did interview the person that filed the charges. That I did do. I did talk about that, and then it kind of went on the wayside on that. And now I'm kind of curious to know, and maybe it might be a good idea to look into even that a little bit more too. I don't know. Nonsense has been calling out the lies and misinformation about the whole Vaughn story. The fraud raising was definitely a big part of it. Nonsense does not need recognition. She's just wanting peace. Okay, yeah, Cash. I would get that. I'd get that for sure. Thank you. Let me see who else. Nonsense has done great exposing. Yes, I would agree. The Dono girls. Hey, Rabbit. I hope you're having a good one. I think you have good intentions, which is rare here. Oh, thank you. I'm not bashing either of them. I would like them both. We can't unite people that do things we don't agree with. Well, Bama, that's a great point. Who else? True Crime Dime says basically Nonsense Channel has been a timeline of everything that has happened in the Marvon case. The donations for the attorney that was never actually acquired is just part of that timeline. Right. But I think that there's a difference between, I don't think that she was in it to expose the fraud raising, if that's what it is, right? Just my thought. Don't shoot the rabbit. Thank you. Okay. Oh, okay. Rabbit can't say the words. We misspell them. Yes, thank you. Misspell any salty words, but let me know your guys' thoughts. Uni does fraud raising content. Yeah, we have a spreadsheet with over 300K in money asked for through fraud raisers by one small group. Molly wasn't on our radar until this summer, says Menace to Sobriety. I don't know. Nonsense had the receipts. She pulled it all together. I learned it all from her. What is right is right. What is wrong, her statement. When you say the receipts, though, like, are we talking? I just want to make sure we're clear on the fraud raising part. Just saying. I'm just glad Molly's gone. Well, is she? And for the next 12 days and counting, people I live aren't actively being injured and hunted down on Maine because of her. I don't give a damn who did it. I'm just glad it's done. Yeah, not intended to expose. The exposing just happened because it's part of the story. Exposing was not her goal, just to tell Marvon's story. I agree. It's so hard. We all think different. Yeah, I would agree with that. Is that what you mean? I love aren't actively? Sorry, my love. Molly was just live last night. She's not gone. I didn't think she was gone. Technically, it was the misinformation. The Dragon of Dre plus Letitia and Molly saying justice for Marvon. Well, there you go. Jeez, you guys are going in on these comments. My goodness. This is the point of this, all right? Before I head out, this is my point. I understand where nonsense is coming from, okay? There was a lot of misinformation. You can't say that you know who called based on evidence of receipts. It's hard, right? And so when she got a lot of backlash because of it, and I don't think that it was his intention to do that, but I think that it's a cautionary tale of you just got to be careful what you put out there. When he put out there that possibly I set up this interview with Lysic's victim, that shit was not cool. That was not okay. And after he did that, listen, thank you. Shout out to all you supporters and everything, but you don't get to lie on me so many times. You don't. You don't get when you lie on me, we have a problem. And you don't show any receipts of that, we have a problem. I stay away. You go blockity block. Okay. Thank you, Leslie, for donating 5 memberships, my love. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, and don't forget to hit that like button. That's just how I feel. That's just my opinion. You guys can, do what you got to do and be what you want to hang out with. That's just how I feel. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. And shout out to Nonsense. You guys make sure you go check her out, okay? Thank you. Shout out to Mr. Frankie, okay? That's another person we got to shout out. With all the stuff that he's been through. Thank you, guys. Thank you. No, absolutely. She does not deserve it, any of it. She uses MGL own content and words and points out the contradictions. If MGL was consistent and didn't lie, there would be nothing to expose. Absolutely. Absolutely. Lord of mercy jumps on back. Oh, Jesus. Well, you said it. I didn't. Neither of them are bad. Both are trying to be good in their own way, right? Molly isn't gone, but she's being closely watched by YouTubers. I don't know, yo. I have a few that are my favorite, but in general, the ones only giving facts are the ones that get my respect. Well, I mean, and shout out to them. I'm not advising you guys not to follow, but I do feel some type of way. This is just my opinion. And Nonsense knows it too. I think, I just feel for her. I do. I really do. Y'all don't have to like her. I do. I understand where she's coming from. And I think that this isn't like, well, we should have had a conversation. Well, the phone works both ways. I called her before I went live. You could have always called her before she went live too. You know what I'm saying? This is how I feel. I think you're right with the cautionary tale. I think sometimes we all need a gentle reminder about the information rumors. Right. But the thing is if you're fighting, beat him. If you're fighting the good fight on the right team, okay, if that's what it is, then you need to check yourself before you wreck yourself, right? Like, you can't be so salacious to put out misinformation. The Glare said it perfect. You're responsible for what you put out, what you receive, and how you're consuming that information. This is why I thought this clip was perfect. I said I couldn't have said it better, right? Because he totally did. He totally said it better for me. You have to be careful. And it's the same. Armchair detective, Molly Golightly, everybody. You have to put out there. You have to be careful what you put out there. And it goes to creators, whether you're fighting the good fight or not. You have to, and not only that, I challenge the subscribers. Okay. I challenge the subscribers to ask your creator, is what you're saying truth? Is there a question mark? Is it fact? Is it clickbait? Are you just assuming or are you just giving commentary? Which one is it? Because misinformation can hurt all of us. It hurts us all, not just, it really does, especially when you're covering other content. This is why I say, Molly Golightly, I'm not going to put out there that she took $800 from somebody for alleged funeral expenses because I haven't seen a receipt of it. So we have to be careful with that, right? And it goes both ways. Nobody should be putting any misinformation out. And if you're in a true crime community or exposing community, then those are the kinds of things that you need to call out as well, you know? But anyways, guys, I'm going to let you go. Oh, Jesus. Lord have mercy, look at all these comments. You guys, oh my God. I was so freaking happy when I saw those videos, but nonsense were gone. I've reported them over and over, and they were finally gone. I wanted to see joy on her face, not pain. The whole thing sucks. Aw, Brianna, you're a sweetheart. Kurt says, well, J-Dubs, I agree. Kurt says, I have an issue with Unirock monetizing nonsense content when she's never even monetized it herself. When people came back online nonsense, made sure she monetized and turned off. Yeah, I told her to monetize too. She knows I told her. I told her too. I think that I'm not going to say nothing, but I told her to monetize her videos. That was not cool either. And I don't know if she realized. I think part of it is true. She didn't know she was going to be here for too long, which I think would make sense, right? Like, you don't know, you just want to turn it off. You don't know what commitment is going to be being monetized, right? And now note that you get a W-2 for being monetized, so she would have to file taxes on this too. So that's like, you just never really know. So I get where she's coming from with that, but the reality is like, it's not okay that all her, like, it's not okay to use all the content. And yeah, you're giving credit, but you're also getting paid, and she's not. Just seems kind of weird, That's just my opinion, though. Okay, let me see. Let me look into this. I love nonsense, but she knew this was coming. I was watching when she was doxxed, and she pulled down her face and showed her avatar in her face. Yeah. Not enough critical thinking. Here comes Krusty. Not enough critical thinking, damn it. Y'all, we need more critical thinking in our life. Look, that's just my thought. And again, I'm not asking anybody to unsubscribe, but I am giving my thought and commentary to the situation. And I do think, guys, let me tell you this. This whole Mallory thing has caused a lot of destruction. Okay, can we get back to normal? Like, trust me. I'm just, look, can we get back to the normal? Because it really shook up too many people. I'm telling you, it really did. Right? Do you agree? She agrees. All right, guys, I have to let you guys go. I will follow up with you guys tomorrow. You guys have a great night, because I am out. I have a baby bunny who wants my attention. You guys have a great night. Bye.